Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to show you how to set up a Corel PRAC controller which will run a Bitzer CR2 compressor as the lead compressor. I'm going to show you how to do the wizard in this video. So as a reference, this is alarm button, program or menu button, escape or back button, up, enter and down. So as you can see, you've got the option to enter to change the language, or just escape to skip. So I'm going to choose English, so I'm just going to escape. Select config item wizard. So yes, I want to show you guys how to use the wizard. So you're going to press the enter button and then just enter again to select the wizard. So here's our first page, and remember, when configuring a PRAC controller you need a wiring diagram. I don't have a wiring diagram, but I have some notes that we're going to use here today. Corel PRAC setup with the following information. It's going to be a low temp suction running at -30 degrees Celsius. 4 compressors, with number 1 being a Bitzer CR2 compressor with all 3 heads unloadable. So it's got 3 heads and all 3 heads can unload. It's going to be 4 normal on-off fans, 1 alarm per compressor, 1 low liquid level alarm, 1 serious alarm output for a siren, 1 suction pressure probe 4 to 20 milliamp, 0 to 10 bar range, 1 suction temperature probe, it's going to be a normal Corel NTC, 1 condensing pressure probe, also a 4 to 20 milliamp, 0 to 30 bar range. We're going to have 1 discharge pressure probe per compressor and 1 ambient probe. It's going to be a normal Corel NTC. Okay, so going back to the wizard, type of installation, suction and condenser, yes. And it's going to be a standard plant. So we just go down. Measuring units, degrees Celsius or bar. Remember, if you enter, you have the option to change it to Fahrenheit and PSI. But I'm going to leave it on degrees Celsius and bar. Next page, compressor config. Compressor type is going to be reciprocating, yes, but my number, I'm going to change that to 4 as per the notes. If we go down to the next page, compressor config, number of alarms for each compressor is going to be 1 alarm. Enter and go down. Compressor config, modulating speed device. We're going to choose the Bitzer CR2 option. So remember, you have the option for an inverter or the Bitzer. That's what we want. I'm going to enter. And remember, this is only for your first compressor, for a suction line. If we configure a dual temp rack, you may have 2 Bitzers, but each one will be for a suction group. If we go down, compress config, compressor sizes, equal sizes. So what this means is, let's say you have my 4 compressors and all 4 are the same size, then it's equal size. But let's say we have a little bit larger lead compressor, and then the 3 secondary and 3rd and 4th compressors are the same size or different sizes, but they go smaller with each one. You're going to choose the option to say define sizes and define stages. So here you can say, okay, compressor number 1 is a 20 kilowatt, compressor 2 is a 15, compressor 3 is a 12, and compressor 4 is a 10. But for this exercise, I'm just going to choose equal sizes but different stages. The different stages is for our unloading heads. So compressor 1 will be a 33, 66, 100% compressor, but the following 2nd, 3rd and 4th compressor are normal on off. So that's why we're saying different stages. So if we go down, compressor config, enable stages. So as I said, my CR2 is going to be not a 50-100. So this is if you have 1 compressor, 2 heads, and both heads can unload. So it's not this option. You've got another option. a 50-7500. So in this case, we will have 4 heads, but only 3 can unload. Then you'll choose this option, but not for this exercise. We would like this one, 33-6600. So 3 heads and all 3 can unload. Group 2 compressors, yes, normal on off, so they can only run 100%. Perfect. There's no group 3 or group 4. So if we go down, you are able to see compressor config. Number 1 is a CR2, compressor 2 is a, and 3 is of group 2, S2. Okay, we go down. Config regulation by temperature. I like to use temperature because we all understand -30. We don't have to go and try and calculate between PSI and bar, what's the pressure, and then convert that to temperature. Temperature is very easy. And we're going to run 507 refrigerant. Perfect. Let's go down. Compressor config regulation type, neutral zone. Yes, because we are running a lead compressor. If you have 4 normal on-off compressors on your rack, then you'll choose proportional because there's no lead compressor. As soon as you have any sort of a lead compressor, we like to use neutral zone. So perfect, let's go down. Set point, suction set point, let's take that down to -30 as per the notes. And then my differential, we're going to leave it at 2 for now, because in later videos I'll show you guys how to set up the neutral zone differentials and all of that. So let's just go down. Configure another suction line? No, because we're not running a dual temp rack, but you have the option to do that. I'm just going to skip. Let's go down. Condensers. Do we have a dedicated board for the condensers? No. Because my board is big enough, I'm going to run everything from this one board. So I'm going to just go down. Condenser config, number of fans. It's going to be 4. Remember my notes. I said 4 on-off fans. So we leave it at 4. We go down. Condenser config, modulating speed device is going to be none. But remember, you have the option of inverter 0 to 10 volts, phase cut PWM, or just PWM digital output. But we're going to select none because it's normal on-off fans. Let's go down. Regulation by for the condensers. Again, I want to use temperature. And the same 507 refrigerant. Perfect. Let's go down. Regulation type is going to be proportional, because we only have the 4 on-off fans, and you have the option to enable an integral time. So let's say those 4 on-off fans, they are switching on and off erratically. You have the ability to put in an integral time, and it will just help to smoothen out the switching on and off of your fans. I'm going to leave it for now on no and go down. Condenser config set point. Let's put this a little bit higher, more realistically. Let's go to 36 degrees Celsius and differential of 4. And remember, I always like to use a larger differential on my fans because they are running proportional. We use a larger differential that also helps to smoothen out your regulation and that erratic switching on and off of the fans. If we go down, configure another condensing line. No, I'm not. So we're just going to go down. Enable IO config? No. Enable wizard report? No. I'm going to leave this as no because I don't want the PRAC to automatically assign my inputs and outputs, because the OEM built this rack. All the compressors, all the wiring is completely done. So I have to use my wiring diagram. So the PRAC can't decide for me where to put the wires. So I'm going to leave it all as no and just go down. Boards necessary, 1 board. If we had, let's say, said a dedicated board for condensing line, we we would have had a second board here, but because everything is run off this one board, you only have the one board. All boards present, enter to continue. Now it says auto configuration under execution. So what the PREC is doing now is taking all that information and compiling it for us into a workable solution. So we just please wait. Successfully completed. Press enter to continue. So all that we're going to do is press enter and then we're done. So that's how I configure a BitSys CR2 compressor using the wizard setup. And always remember to use the wizard because it's a fairly simple way for setting up a PREC controller. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.